Good morning. Hope everyone's doing well. This is another Saturday live stream. This will be my last live stream of 2023. Crazy. Crazy how fast this year went by. We're wrapping up a $30,000 year today. So we'll be live for however long it takes. To be quite honest with you, I don't think it's going to take very long. First off, first order of business. Here's what my first delivery of the day will look like. It is a 13, what is that? That's a 1336 for about 6.5 mile, 6.4 mile. Got to head down the interstate for the pickup. We'll take it though. That's what? That's more than a third of the money we need to make on this live stream right there. So let me check my number again. I need $33.79. That's it. That's how close we are. 33.79. We got Steve, TN, and Giggity in the chat. Good morning. Giggity giving me W's in the chat. Appreciate that. Steve said it's been fairly busy here. Started at 8:30. Man, you started before I even woke up. Kevin's here as well, and Brandon Diaz is here. What kind of Blake Moore clickbait title is this? Oh, wait. Moore doesn't have the gonads to go live. Wow. Well, hey, let me tell you, dude, should we stack this up? We're going to stack this up and go way down south. I know that's 8.5, 8 miles south, which I don't like going that far south, but we're already going down the interstate anyway. We'll add this one item shop and pay.
East on Celanese Road towards Celanese Road.
We'll make an appearance at Dick's Sporting Goods. Everybody needs a good, everybody needs a... Where's the joke? Somebody help me with the joke. Everybody needs some good dick in the morning. That's not a subtle enough joke, though. I try to... It needs to be more subtle than that. It's too early, man. I just woke up, so my comedic... My comedic brain cells aren't completely firing at their best yet. Yeah, no, it's not clickbait. It's just like, it depends on how people interpret my time frame in which I'm earning $30,000. But it is completely true. I've done the math several times over. That way I know that I'm right on where my math is to the penny. And I'm $33.79 away from $30,000 for the year. And that's on gig apps, by the way. A lot of people say, I can't live on that. That's not enough. Well, that's not everything I make. That's the majority of what I've made. But that is not everything I've made. But I've been documenting to the penny my gig app income every day, every week of 2023. I don't think I'm going to do that next year. I decided. I don't think I'm going to post my earnings in the same way that I did this year. I kind of wanted to do that as a one-year deal and I'm happy I did it, but I think I'm going to lay off of that next year. Because I've got some things in line for next year that are going to take priority for me over like gig income. And that's the interesting part about making $30,000 in a year on the gig apps is, I feel like my life didn't change all that much as a result of working. In all seriousness, I don't feel like I went way out of my way to earn 30 grand. I don't feel like I even went out of my way much at all. There was nothing in my personal life this year that I said no to because I had to work. So that's the other thing. I know some people will say, well, 30,000 is not even that much money, which definitely depends on your perspective. It depends on how global your perspective is. And it depends on how much humility you have for your circumstance. Because I think 30,000 is a lot of money. But I understand that it's not a high salary. I get that. But I said yes to everything I wanted to do this year. I went on a 10-day road trip in the summer. I probably went to a dozen, 10 or 12 Hornets games maybe. I can't remember. I don't know. The point is I did a lot. I flew to New Jersey for a weekend. I didn't even work that weekend at all. What was that? For another 4 days. Just kind of hanging out. So, man, in my opinion, if you can make 30 grand without any personal life sacrifice at all, that actually is a lot of money to make in that case. Man, we got all kinds of people up in here. We got Mr. J. What's up? Good morning. Get that money. Thank you, Mr. J. Brandon says, how about start my morning off with a good dick order? That's it. There it is. That's good. See, I knew that I could get one of y'all to help me with that. We're starting the morning off with a good dick order. I like that. And then Brandon can clip that into a little 3-second clip and then make it look like I'm, a Finocchio or something. Brandon said, someone in UDM's chat really said they called Uber Eats support to ask why they see so many low offers. Brandon also said, Matthew's tip contributed to the $30,000. Yes, it did. Actually, it did. Literally. How about that? I wonder how far I'll exceed 30 grand here without even trying, because I also have I did a Walmart Spark last night. So I'm going to get tipped tonight. But I'm not counting that yet. So I don't know how much it's going to be. So depending on how far over 30,000 we go here, what do I need to make, like $10 more? If I make $10 more than the goal, then technically we can say that Matthew's tip did not help me get there. I'll be right back. All right, let's make sure we're still in time here. Yeah, we're good. We're good. I think I'll just go ahead and drop this Grubhub off before we go do the shop and pay. I know that's not perfect. Like, could maximize my mileage better if I went and did the. Well, let me see. What are we looking for? We're looking for a basketball. I can probably. You know what? Let me knock the shop and pay out first. How about that? I know I've got food, but I think I can get that done in like about 4 minutes. So let's just do it. Go, brother. What's Mr. J up in here saying? I'm glad Mr. J's up in here. We need some new energy in the live chats, man. Mr. J says, how much of the 30,000 would you say you have saved? If you don't mind me asking, once you reach your goal. That's an interesting question. I spent 23 grand this year on a car. It's the second largest purchase of my life, other than my house. And we essentially paid cash for the car. We didn't actually pay cash for the car, but we paid the loan off. We paid the entire loan off before the first payment was due. Just because I had money, I had to transfer some money around, and I needed a car on very short notice. So I had to get a loan for like about a week, while my money was moving. So it's interesting to say, well, how much money did you save? Because that was kind of in my opinion, an outlier expense. And a blessing in disguise, because I wouldn't have done these lives nearly as consistently. I wouldn't have been doing these daytime live streams without it. And that helped me generate quite a bit of content. I mean, without the live stream, the stuff, some of the stuff that I caught on live this year, I would have just been at the mercy of people believing me or telling a story about it instead of actually documenting what happened live. And I think there's a lot of value to that. I think that's worth way more to me than $23,000 at the end of the day. Anyway, I'm not really answering your question, but I'm giving you some context. And I also do a lot of unconventional, we'll call it. I'm an unconventional investor. So I put a lot of money in the stock market, but I also do a lot of, oh God, I would have gone through that light if there wasn't a cop right here. Anyway, so I own my car, so I don't have a car payment. So instead, I'm able to basically turn what to most people is a car payment. I have a Hornet season ticket payment that comes out every month, about $370. Now, I've never had a car payment in my life, actually. So I don't know how much a car payment is, but my understanding is that's somewhere around what most people pay for a car payment, about $400 a month, maybe. And so that's another thing. throughout the year, I'm spending about $4,500 on Hornet season tickets, and the value is returned to me later because I sell a lot of the tickets, and I actually profit off of the entire transaction. Through the 41 games, I'm able to turn a profit on it. Also, our emergency fund is higher than it was last time. A couple of years ago, I did if you're really interested in my exact circumstance, you can look up Welty net worth. About a year and a half ago, I made a video where I showed my bank account and I showed what I'm worth and I showed my house and stuff like that. I showed my the equity in my house. We're in a very similar situation to what we were 2 years ago. Obviously, I went back and watched that video last night, which is funny why you ask. Just to see kind of where we've made progress and where we haven't. And some stuff is good, like in my video, I say, hey, we still owe $204 or $204. I wish we only owed $204 on the house. We owed $204,000 remaining on our mortgage loan, and now it's only $197. So we've made progress there. Our emergency fund in our account is higher today than it was then. So we've moved in the right direction in some critical ways. Let me knock out this shop and pay real quick. All right. We're still on time. Let's keep it going. Giggity says the IRS appreciates you. Yeah. Yeah, I had a bunch of people throughout the year tell me, man, you shouldn't, why are you putting your cash tips on YouTube? Why are you reporting cash tips on YouTube? Because I'm a patriot and I pay my taxes. 2, because whatever I'm paying on the taxes is worth it to me. It's worth paying in order for everyone to know, hey, this is a genuine YouTube channel. He tells it like it is. Hey, listen, there's a cost to Sacred Honor, man. There's a cost to it. But there's a benefit too. I'm able to say, hey, this is exactly what a 12-month depiction of a gig worker looked like. And because anybody can get up in here and talk about, well, not anybody can, but you got these gig workers that can make $105,000 in a year. Okay, cool. But most people will look at that and say, I can't do that, or I'm not willing to do that because these people have no, like, that was top priority, was the money. And that's not top priority to a lot of people. So I've tried to do a fair job of showing, and I wish I did more vlogs, more consistent vlogging, so that people could see my more everyday, kind of just the enjoyment factor of life that I have. Because I think people will sign up for that version of gig work before they'll sign up for the 6-figure version. They'll say, oh, I'm interested in a life where I can go to the gym every weekday, and I don't think I woke up to an alarm this year. That's been one of the things that I'm thinking about revisiting. It's been fun for a couple years to not react to an alarm. But I'm actually getting to the point where I'm starting to think maybe I should. Man, I hit another red light right here. We're getting really unlucky on red lights. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm thinking maybe I should start to push myself a little more on the sleep schedule. But I'm like 2 or 3 years into this now of, for the most part, especially since I got deactivated from Amazon Flex, I don't think I've woken up to an alarm since then. And it's nice to get an actual, like, natural amount of sleep. And I'm hoping that my body will appreciate that even more when I'm older, because I know that they say these things compound, you know. People in their mid-20s like me, most of the people in my group, in my age group, would be certainly waking up to an alarm and probably not having the best sleep routine. And then it compounds on itself, and when you get older, you have some health circumstances that stem from a lack of sleep when you were younger. And so hopefully I'll appreciate that these last couple of years when I'm older, that I was able to be pretty well rested in my mid-20s for the most part. I think that's the part that gets on Allison's nerves the most, to be honest with you. She doesn't get to do that. And it's definitely a challenge, like being able to sleep like I have been able to, and then living in the same house as Allison while she has to, be at school at 7:30 in the morning or whatever. And it's definitely a trade-off. There's pros and cons to both of our lifestyles, That's how it goes, though. That's the natural order. Okay, we've made it to our Grubhub drop-off. First floor drop-off, too. That's awesome. Okay, so on our way to the DoorDash drop-off, let's do this here. Instead of counting current live stream earnings, we're going to do current 2023 earnings. Hello, Jehu. How's it going? Current 2023 earnings. Yeah, we're getting awfully close to 30, y'all. All right, we've got 3.5 miles to the DoorDash drop-off. So to and from, that's going to be about 7.5 miles. For $12.50, we'll take it. That's not bad. Mr. J said that's pretty good. Hold up. Let me not run into anybody in the parking lot. Okay, Mr. J said that's pretty good to be financially aware and stable. I don't know your age, but you seem mature to know what you need in life. Yeah, and things are changing. You got to be aware of adaptability as well, because I wanted to be and I knew I would be a millionaire at a young age, I knew that was going to happen. And back before it was cool to say it, I was saying, you know, $1 million is actually not that much money. I mean, the fact that this was, we're talking 15, 20 years ago. I was saying, like, dude, look at the math. Like, any fiscally responsible McDonald's employee, minimum wage employee, can do this. They can retire with $1 million net worth if they really focus on it. And so I was saying, you know, that to me, that proves that $1 million isn't actually that much money. And now here we are, 2023, and it's like, oh man, $1 million is not that much money. It really isn't. And so it's actually quite necessary. It's actually quite necessary. So now I'm, you know, my numbers have changed because when I was younger, I kind of ran some math and I was like, yeah, you know, it's pretty realistic for me to probably end my life with somewhere around a $5 or $6 million net worth. When I ran the numbers, I thought, you know, 5 or 6 probably makes sense for me. And knowing myself, like I'm never going to be a billionaire. That's just not my deal, because I don't want it. I think in order to do that, you got to want it. And I simply don't want that. But I do want, you know, like 10 to 20 million. I would certainly want that. And so it's possible that I'll push myself to do that. But it's funny about how you phrase it, that I know what I need, because unfortunately that number has changed over the last several years. I'm going to need more than I ever thought I was going to need. So we'll see how it goes. And by the way, I'm 26, since you asked. 26. Sometimes I feel like my progress is incredibly slow and I get discouraged, but then you think about, well, you know, let's say back when I was 18, if I showed myself my 26-year-old circumstance when I was 18, how would I feel about that? And to be honest with you, I'd feel pretty darn good. I'd be very happy with where I'm at. So perspective is important. Sometimes I feel like I'm moving slow toward my goals. But then I just have to remind myself that things compound. And most people at 26 years old these days, they can't even fathom like zero consumer debt and property ownership. I mean, that right there, those two facts right there, those two categories of sort of financial independence that I can you know, say that I'm a part of. Zero consumer debt and I'm a property owner at 26. I don't know the exact numbers on that, but that does put me somewhere around the top 5 to 10%, I would imagine. 5 to 10% of people in my age group. I don't know the numbers for sure, but that's not a very common circumstance for among people who came from nothing. That's not. So, not that I came from nothing, but like I didn't have a car given to me in high school. I paid my own car insurance in high school. I as far as college goes, I would have some grandparents like give me some money every Christmas for college. So it's not that I got nothing, but I got somewhere around like I think it was about $5,000 probably. I got about $5,000 given to me for college, and I spent it on a laptop and like books, and then it was gone. And so the tuition and everything, I had to handle that myself. So I didn't come from nothing, but I come from very little. I came from a negative net worth family. I come from a bankruptcy. There was a bankruptcy in my immediate family when I was still a minor. So anyway, let's knock this out. All right, we're $8 away. We need an $8 order. And then I'm taking the rest of the weekend off, y'all. I'm not working. So this will be what it is. We got Lions Cowboys tonight. I'm going to be watching that. I'll watch some basketball. Tomorrow we got church and then a day of football and then the ball drops. So it's going to be a fun weekend. I'm trying to figure out how to get back because I'm usually not. This is an area of Rock Hill that I'm unfamiliar with. What's up, Alex? Alex just ran my numbers, and I'm like 330 away from 30K as well. LOL. Nice. That's, I mean, if you really wanted to push it this weekend, you can get there. I know you can do it. Oh boy. Oh, I don't want to do that. Do I? No, I don't want to do that. Y'all, I swear I just got a DoorDash that looks like it might be the same exact customer that I just delivered to. And it was from Dick's Sporting Goods again. I wonder if there's some sort of glitch going on. Or maybe it's just coincidence that somebody in the same neighborhood ordering from Dick's. I don't know. That looked weird to me. That looked like it might have been the same house. Giggity said, you know, Walter White only needed 756 grand when he started. Yeah, I would never like, I have no science in me at all. I was so bad at science. Back in school, I was a good student, but science was the one where I was just like, dude, I can't. And I would squeeze the A's and B's out still just by doing the work, but emotionally it would tear me up, man. Emotionally, I just hated it. Every second of science that I ever did, I felt like I was wasting my time because I was disinterested. I knew right away, hey, I'm not going to be a scientist. So let's, why are we even pretending? Why are we even pretending that Welty's going to be a scientist? Listen, because then people are like, well, there's certain stuff you just need to know. You need to know that water freezes at 32 Fahrenheit. You need to know what else do they say? What else do you need to know? Who cares, man? Honestly, who cares? Who cares? And even that, it's like, do I actually need that? When in my life has it actually been important that I know that water freezes at 32 Fahrenheit? I'm trying to think of a circumstance where that piece of knowledge provided value to me. I don't think I've come across this circumstance yet where I was like, dude, I'm so glad I know that. I'm still waiting for that moment when that specific fact. Because the other thing you got to keep in mind is you can Google all this stuff. So not only do you need a situation where you need to know that, but you need a situation where you need to know it in like a split second. Like you need to know that off the top of your head. And the difference between knowing it off the top of your head and being able to Google it has some sort of impact. And I have yet to come across that situation. Dude, what were we, why am I even talking about that? Oh, Walter White, yeah. Anyway, what I was going to say is I'm never going to, be cooking up meth. That's not my thing. But I have said before, I would consider being a mule. And if the cartel is listening, you can reach out to me on my email and I'll hear you out. Let me know a figure. I've been very interested in, you know, being a drug mule after the Clint Eastwood movie, wasn't it? It's called Mule, I think. Pretty sure. Yeah, I watched that movie and I was like, oh yeah, I could do that for sure. For sure. I get it. I've got a pretty clean driving record. Especially as a gig worker, I've had no accidents and no tickets as a gig worker in 3 years. So I think, you know, hey, I feel like driving drugs across the country is something that I'd be good at. How do we feel about this one here? I'm already at the restaurant. Maybe I should be accepting this. It's a little bit out of the way. That's the thing. I'm already at the restaurant though. I'm like literally parked. I think I need to accept this. This would get us to 30,000. 1050, 5.5 miles. But it doesn't go the exact way I would want it to. We'll do it anyway, and then maybe we'll do another one after this. It's going to make sense to do another one on the way home, y'all. So yeah, we can go up over 30,000 that way. Matthew doesn't get to say that I needed his tip in order to get there. Mr. J said, don't be a mule, man. Keep it legit. Yeah, I mean, Mr. J, you know, I kind of joke around, but also it's kind of like I'm joking, but I'm also not joking, but I'm also joking. Because, like, who in the world would go on the internet and talk about wanting to be a drug mule? Who would do that with any sincerity? I've just made myself, like, unhireable. Not that I want to be hired. Oh, dude, while we wait for this order, let me show y'all. We got tipped. And this is not included in the $30,000. There's a few things I've been tipped throughout the year, not included in the $30,000 that I've made on the gig apps. And this would be one of those circumstances. I just posted a video showing, hey, we got 6 dogs in our house right now. A couple of them got picked up already. We're down to 4 now. So a couple of our dogs got picked up. And they gave me this right here as a gift, in addition to the rover payment. So this will be, we will have this tomorrow night. And I'm not a big alcohol or wine guy, but apparently this thing's worth like $60. And correct us if we're wrong, but Allison looked it up and she's like, this is a $60 bottle of champagne right here. So anyway, I thought I would show that off because I'm a little bit, you know, I was impressed by this. That's the second time in my life I've been tipped a bottle of wine, by the way. The first time I got tipped a bottle of wine, I was a valet. I was a car valet. And the VP of Rick Hendricks Automotive, his VP tipped us a bottle of wine from his vineyard. Interesting little note about my life there. Yeah, I was a valet for about 2 months. I'll be right back. It's been nice having orders that are over $10 consistently. Today and yesterday it was like that too. And part of that has been my yeah, I guess a change of heart, a shift in mentality. I'm a lot more willing to do the shopping pace now. I didn't realize I was actually kind of like overestimating the difficulty of them. I'm at the point now where it's like, hey, if you're going to give me 35 or 40 bucks for a shop and pay, Walmart, even if it's like 60 items, I figured out I can actually find these items way faster than I thought I could. And the apps give you way more information than I thought they did. Well, some of the apps. I still think on DoorDash and Uber, they don't give me nearly as much information, and I just kind of have to find the stuff. But on Walmart Spark, man, they tell you exactly where it's at. So if I can get a $35, I keep getting these in the mid 30s, 35 bucks. Like, we're talking like usually around 5 miles of driving. So my mileage is good. And usually, even if it does take me a whole hour, usually it can take me the hour, but we're still talking about a $35 hour. So I've had to realize, man, I've been kind of sleeping on the shopping pace. And over the last 2 weeks or so, I would say, I've been a lot more willing to do them. And strangely enough, and this is mostly due to Rover, so don't get it too confused. I'm mostly making the money that I am right now because of Rover. But I finished 2023 with my 2 highest earning weeks of the year. Back to back, top 2 weeks. So definitely interesting that that's corresponded with my willingness to do the shop and pace. All right, we've got 5 more miles to go. And I'm going to start looking for one more order as well. We'll do one from wherever this is. We'll try and do one more on the way back home. Might as well get paid for that mileage as well. Speaking of 2023 coming to a close, my Charlotte Hornets played their final game of 2023 last night. We lost again. This season, this first third or half or whatever, this first 40% of the 2023 year here, we are 7-23. 30 games in, we have 7 wins. It's been tough because I really thought this team had a chance at a play-in spot, and we don't. So, yeah, it sucks to be 30 games into a year and it's already over. Hopefully I can, I've still got my towel right here. I showed y'all this towel that one time from the in-season tournament. The Hive is alive. Hopefully I can slowly continue to increase my ownership stake in the Hornets until I'm a 51% owner. And then at that point, I'll be able to take roster control, and we'll get a winning team over here. Trust me, if I'm ever running the Charlotte Hornets, we're going to get a winning team. I insist. Welcome back, Giggity. I'll give y'all, it's a beautiful day over here in South Carolina, man. I mean, the sky is like looking nice. I'm going to give y'all the street vision for a little while. The street view. How's that angle? Here, let me go see what y'all are seeing. Oh, I better stay on the road. Stay on the road, Welty. Yeah, this is a pretty good angle. You got a good bit of the blue sky in there. They just repaved this road again this year. I feel like every year they repave this thing. So right now it's in really good condition. This is our major boulevard that takes you into downtown Rock Hill. On our right is some railroad tracks. There might be a train today, there might not be. Let's see. Dude, I should be a tour guide. Maybe when I retire from YouTube, I'll be a tour guide and, like, you know, some sort of I don't know, like Chicago or something. I could go be a Chicago tour guide. I'm jealous of the people that, what was it, 2 summers ago, I went to Chicago for a vacation, and we took the river tour on the boat, on one of the boats. We took the architecture tour, so we went up and down the river, and the information the tour guide was giving us was very focused on the architecture of the skyline. We saw Trump Tower, of course, in Chicago. Anyway, I was jealous of that. There's not many jobs that I would actually want in this era. In this era of our economy, And in this era of how a lack of loyalty between employer and employee in the W-2, that's created an environment where there's very few jobs that I would actually want. But one of them, I've thought, man, these people that get to be paid to be a tour guide, that now we're talking. That's a job that makes sense to me. It's still like relatively low stress. They're not even the person driving the boat. They're not even the captain. So they're not responsible for the lives of others. They just get to be paid to be on the boat and tour and speak about what we're looking at. And I feel like that's what I do every day anyway. On YouTube here, delivering DoorDashes. I'm a DoorDash tour guide of Rock Hill. Like, dude, one day I should retire from this and go be a tour guide of something a little more interesting. Now, maybe Chicago's not actually the place for me because every once in a while I'm going to sneak in a, we'll call it a light-leaning, we'll call it a right-leaning joke. And that might not go over well on a boat in Chicago. So maybe we should rethink, I could do maybe the San Antonio River will work a little better for me. Well, we've done it, y'all. We have really done it. All right, let's cross our fingers for one more delivery on the way home. Because I've got how far is that? I'm trying to figure out how far away from home I am right now. Yeah, I'm 6 miles from home. So let's try to get paid for that. We can do better than that. We can do better than $4. Giggity said, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's not a goal that I started the year with. I didn't say, hey, I'm going to make 30 this year. But when I got toward the end of the year here and I added my numbers up and I was like, hey, you know, this kind of actually works out. If I push myself a little bit at the end, 30,000 seems like a fun goal, a very round number that we can go shoot for. And it was a good number because it was like, it was out far enough ahead of me that I had to work for it a little bit, but it was also not like I had to stress for it. I didn't have to go crazy. I think that's a good goal, like where it's, your goal needs to be achievable, but it also doesn't need to be where like if one bad thing happens, you can't hit your goal anymore, you know? That was a decent DoorDash offer right there, but again, I think we can do better. I'm taking a risk. I've also got a lot of work to do today, actually, and this weekend I got a lot of work to do on a video. I haven't even started my 2023 recap video yet for the channel, and I wanted to post another video too, and I've just simply run out of time. I decided to prioritize like finishing strong and hitting my 30,000, and so I've been putting a good bit of time into like actually driving the last couple weeks, and now I'm out of time, man. I'm out of time to get the uploads done that I wanted to do. I'm still gonna do them though, and I'm certainly gonna do my recap video. I think I should try to do that at the end of every year, have a little recap video. So that's what I'm gonna do this afternoon and tonight. Still looking for one more order, but I'm not getting anything that's like really standing out. By this point, I'm about 4 miles from home. So we're running out of time. I'm back to my favorite hotspot now, so hopefully here last second we can get one more order. If we're gonna get one, it'll be here. Can't do that. No, I'm looking for one that's like less than 3 miles at this point. Come on, DoorDash. All these offers want me to go like 8-9 miles down the road. I'm not about to do that. I'm trying to end my shift. And I think DoorDash knows it, man. They watch your tendencies. I swear they watch your tendencies. They tell, they can tell what you're trying to do. They say, oh, he's trying to drive back towards his house. So on my way to my house, they're going to send me a bunch of offers that try to take me back down south, right back where we just came from. And it'll be like right when I pull into my driveway, they'll give me the actual offer that I've been looking for. Because their algorithm is telling them, oh, he's about to close his app out if we don't give him something. It's stupid how they try to manipulate us, man. It's like, hey, DoorDash, just how about send me offers that would be most efficient for me to do? With no manipulation, just send me those. I mean, I'm sitting here 30 seconds from Empire Pizza. So how about send me an Empire Pizza order? It's a good thing I took that $10.50 one when I did, I guess. If it really is starting to die off already, it's a good thing I took what I could get. $30,000, man. Hey, it's funny. It's funny how little money that is when it comes to like holding it in your hand. It's a stack about that thick. My entire year's work on the gig apps in a stack of paper about that thick. Brandon said Thomas Schubeck would be proud. Well, I think we're going to call it because I'm not getting anything, which is kind of surprising to me. It's not even 12:30 yet. 23 on DoorDash while we were live today. We did about an hour and a half live today. We did 23 on DoorDash. And we got the 1336 on Grubhub. 36. That's 3636? That's wild, man. 3636. in an hour and 34 minutes. Decent mileage, not my best, not my worst. Decent mileage today. Man, I guess this is where we're going to call it for 2023. I was hoping for one more, but, you know. Still to come, I will have a Walmart Spark tip come in tonight. I don't know what to expect from that. Couple more bucks. Otherwise, have a good New Year, my friends. I'll see you in an upload before the new year. I will see you in 2024 on Welty.